Adrian, Bott, great to grab you just before you head off to the airport. Just for those in Hong Kong, can you explain how your operation works in terms of being based in Sydney and also being based here in Melbourne?
Yeah, we've got a smaller operation here in Flemington, just sort of boutique, sort of 20 stables, which helps us have a presence over the carnival. There's obviously some great races to target here, and you want to be able to strategically place the horses as best we can. So to have that system where they can arrive down here and just, with our staff and everything in place, it does help us over the carnivals in that regard. So obviously the bigger operation up in Sydney, I'm based up there the majority of the time, but it's always good to get down here this time of year.
And a big team heading to Derby Day, going to be broadcast as part of World Pool. Just firstly, Lady of Camelot, a horse that we've seen quite a bit of, not just as a 2-year-old, but obviously as a 3-year-old. She was great in the Everest last start.
Yeah, she was excellent. I think she brings a lot of interest to the Coolmore. She was very, very brave. She's come through that run in excellent order. I still feel there's some nice improvement the way she's come out of that particular run. She's travelled down here well and raced successfully. She's obviously down here for the Blue Diamond early days. She came down for the Moya first up this preparation, so she's very seasoned in that regard. So she's arrived here this morning, arrived in really good shape. But I was most impressed with the way she came out of that run. She's going to take a bit of beating in the Coolmore there. She's in good shape.
What do you think about her tackling the straight?
Yeah, that would obviously be the only concern, but everywhere we've put her in those sort of type of situations, she's handled very well. I know the straight's different again, but she's pretty versatile in her pattern. She can lead up. She's got tactical speed to do that, but we've obviously seen her being able to sort of sit off, and she can be quite explosive when she does. So that pattern may suit her up the straight, but she's arrived Caulfield first time of asking, which is traditionally a difficult track for Sydney horses. Handled it well. Same thing at the Valley, a different course again. So she's pretty adaptable.
Looking at some of your other runners, in the Wakeful you've got Killcare Beach Girl, a filly that looks like she should be suited getting up to that sort of a trip. Yeah,
I think she will appreciate that. She may just appreciate this run once again heading towards the Oaks. That's still obviously the path we'd like to be on. She was only third up the other day at the 2,000 metres, and that may have just sort of found her out on the day. I think that run will improve her. And as I said, she'll improve again off Saturday's race, but certainly a nice filly with plenty of class going forward.
For those in Hong Kong, obviously not used to seeing that 5-day backup, a lot of horses tend to go to the Wakeful and then into the Oaks.
Yeah, traditionally it seems to have worked very well. Obviously it's a point in the preparation where you can do it, and it is successful. And obviously those staying types of trips, that significant grounding that you can get is a big advantage, and it's sort of hard to get that level of work into them at home. So getting the miles into them through racing is obviously one important way to be able to do it.
Looking at the Vanity, Tudan Lizzie has been a filly that has always promised a lot, but it was great to see her win as she did last time out.
Yeah, that was excellent. I'm really satisfied for her on that occasion, because she's promised to be, as you said, a nice filly going forward, and just felt stretching out and trip would be a positive for her. So she's on a 1,000 guineas path, and this is a nice run in between, just getting her up in trip slightly. And high profile filly from the yearling purchase. She was the first crop of Tudan Hot. She was $1 million yearling herself, and obviously owned and raced by Sir Andrew Lloyd Webber, the owner of Tudan Hot as well. So a nice tie-in with all of that. So we're very satisfied to be able to get him a nice result, and I think probably his first horse down here in Australia. So all that's very, very important.
And Dominetta going in the same race, what do you make of her?
I thought she was excellent there, just second up in the Reginald Allen. She's still putting it all together, but I thought she was very courageous. She's got improvement there, and she's on a very similar path. So I think she'll keep improving for us.
And that Reginald Allen was a bit of a messy race, and so I think it's probably a race where horses are going to improve off it.
Yeah, I think she's certainly one of those that you'll see that there's plenty of depth to her. I think the further we get her into the campaign, the more we're going to see from her. Also getting out in trip, she's sort of got a petty. I know she's by Zoo Star, but on the female dam side, she's got quite a bit of staying qualities there. So I can certainly see her improving over a trip for us.
Then you head to Tuesday, Melbourne Cup. Always great to have a Melbourne Cup runner. Just fine for a large group of owners with the My Racehorse Micro Syndicate. What do you make of him, especially coming off a disappointing last night effort at Moonee Valley?
Yeah, obviously got a bit of work to turn him around, but look, he can be a bit that type of horse. He's mixed his form, certainly in the last 12 months as well. So, that sort of can be in line with him. If he was more consistent and had that type of run, I guess it would be a little bit more concerning. But there's some factors there that we can make excuses for him, and I think getting back to Flemington will obviously be a big positive for him. He seemed to work up nice and sharply this morning there. He looked well in himself. Physically can't fault him. Yeah, may just have to sort of tinker with the pattern of his racing to help him on the day. Something to look at going into Tuesday.
And he worked with Elias, who probably didn't run to form in the Caulfield Cup, but you go back to that Turnbull run and you see the form that's coming out of the Turnbull. It must give you a bit of confidence going to the Champion Stakes.
Yeah, no doubt. Obviously we felt we had the right horse going into the Caulfield Cup, and feel he's had an excellent campaign up until that point. Again, a few excuses there. Maybe didn't quite run out the trip strongly there. Elected to drop him back in distance, so he'll be there on Champions Day in the 2,000 metre event. And as you said, that 2,000 metre form that he's shown here in Australia has been excellent. The form in Sydney and in Melbourne, I think that's certainly form good enough to see him be very competitive.
Is there any chance we'll see you in Hong Kong either this year, in December or in April with a horse?
Look, I must say I've been desperate to try and get up there with a horse. It's certainly on the radar. I would love to come up at any opportunity we can. Where you need to get the right horse as well to come up, and the timing needs to be correct. So I don't think we've got that horse this year at this stage, but it's certainly high up on the radar.